How do you tell a good story? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. I have been really excited to make this episode for a long time because I love talking about stories. Do you like stories? Do you enjoy curling up on the couch with your parents and listening to them read you a book? Books are stories. Or do you have a favorite movie? Movies are stories too. Do you get a story at the end of the night for bedtime? My kids always ask me to tell them a story when it's time for bed. But it's not a story from a book or a movie. It's one I make up every night. And that is so fun. I love making up stories. Do you want to know how to tell a good story? Did you know that good stories usually have a few things in common? Usually they follow a structure. You can even map it out on a piece of paper if you wanted to. Do you want to learn how to tell good stories today? Most stories have something called a main character. Have you ever heard that term before? A main character? That's the character that the story is about. Another word for this is protagonist. If you ever hear the word protagonist, that just means the main character. I bet if you think about all of your favorite stories, each one of them has a main character. It's the character you follow throughout the story. Sometimes the main character is the title of the story, like in Cinderella. Cinderella is the main character of that story. Or in the movie Moana. Who's the main character in Moana? Yep, it's Moana. But sometimes it can be a little more tricky, like in the movie Toy Story. Who's the main character in that movie? Well, we follow the adventures of two characters in that movie, don't we? Woody and Buzz. But only one of them is the main character. Do you want to know how you figure it out? Because in a good story, and I would say Toy Story is a good story, the main character always wants something. That character might want to solve a mystery or rescue someone or find treasure or make a friend or finally be seen and understood. In Toy Story, what is it that Woody wants? Well, his owner Andy gets a cool new toy, Buzz Lightyear. So, Woody wants to be Andy's favorite toy. Woody is the main character in Toy Story. You could do this for any story you enjoy. You can pick out the main character by simply figuring out who wants something in this story. Who's going to go on a journey to find that thing? In the Super Mario Brothers movie, that's one of my kids' favorite movies, Mario is the main character because he wants to find his kidnapped brother Luigi. In The Lion King, Simba is the main character because what does he want? Actually, he sings about what he wants, doesn't he?
Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
Now, all good stories are about the protagonist, the main character, going on a journey. And usually, the story has exactly 3 parts. We call them acts. Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. This is called the 3-act structure. And it shows up over and over and over and over again in good stories. I've got an idea. Let's pick a story that we all know in order to find the 3-act structure within that story. I need to pick a story that I know most people listening to this are going to be familiar with. What about we talk about Cinderella again? Even if you haven't seen one of the Cinderella movies, you're probably somewhat familiar with the story. Cinderella lives with her wicked stepmother and stepsisters, who treat her badly and make her do all the chores. She feels stuck. She dreams of a different life and wants the chance to go to the royal ball. Cinderella is the main character of Cinderella because she wants her life to be different. She wants to go to the ball. That's her journey in the story. Now, all good stories are unique, obviously, but in a lot of ways, they're the same. And once you understand the 3-act structure of most stories, you'll understand how to tell a good story yourself. Okay, so Act 1 is the beginning of the story. I always explain Act 1 to my kids like this. This is where we see the normal world. We get to learn about the main character and what their lives are usually like. For Cinderella, what is her normal life like? It's pretty sad, isn't it? Her stepmother and stepsisters mistreat her all the time and make her do all the chores. She finds out that there is a ball coming up, but she's told she can't go. Her normal life is difficult. Okay, so that's Act 1 of the story. But how do you know when Act 1 is over? Well, Act 1 ends when something happens. Do you know what that something is called? I explain it to my kids like this. I like to call it, but then, all of a sudden, something happens that changes the main character's normal world. Some big event changes everything. I bet if you know the story of Cinderella pretty well, you can tell me what happens that changes Cinderella's normal world. Yep, her fairy godmother appears. That's the start of Act 2. Cinderella gets a beautiful dress, a carriage, and glass slippers, but there's an important condition. She must return home before midnight, because that's when the magic wears off. So she has a challenge on her journey. That creates a little tension in the story. While Cinderella is at the ball dancing with the prince, the audience knows the clock is ticking. Good stories often do that. They create a little bit of pressure. Time is running out. Something important could be lost. Then, midnight arrives. Cinderella runs from the palace before the magic disappears, and one of her glass slippers falls off on the steps. That leads us to Act 3, the ending. This is where the biggest problem gets solved. The prince searches the kingdom for the person whose foot fits the glass slipper. One by one, everyone tries it on, but the slipper doesn't fit until Cinderella gets her chance. The slipper fits perfectly, and the prince realizes she was the person he met at the ball. And they live happily ever after. Cinderella, the main character, gets the thing she wants, for her life to be different. And boy, is it! So if you map the story out, it looks something like this. Act 1, the beginning. Cinderella's normal life is really sad, and she wants a different one. She hopes she can go to the ball. Then, Act 2. But then, all of a sudden, her fairy godmother appears. She faces obstacles and gets help, goes to the ball, and races home before midnight. Then, Act 3, the ending. The prince finds her, and her life changes. That's the 3-act structure, and now that you've heard about it, you'll see it in almost every story you enjoy. Most good stories also follow something else called the hero's journey. See, there was a writer named Joseph Campbell, and he studied myths and old adventure tales from many different cultures around the world. In 1949, he published a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces because he noticed that many stories shared similar patterns. The hero often begins in an ordinary life. Then something changes. The hero enters a new world, faces challenges, receives help from new friends, and comes back changed somehow. You can see parts of that pattern in Cinderella too. She begins in her ordinary world at home. Then she enters a completely different world at the royal ball. She receives help from a new friend, her fairy godmother. She faces challenges and pressure, and by the end, her life is changed. Cinderella is the hero of the story. Now, that doesn't mean that every story has to follow the exact same steps, but what Joseph Campbell realized is that stories across the world and for thousands of years all through recorded history have followed very similar structures. And he called it the hero's journey. Isn't that amazing? I think that's why stories are so powerful. It's why we like to watch movies and read books. And it's probably part of why you even like listening to this show. Have you ever noticed that I often start the show with a story about my family? Remember when I said that I make up a story for my kids at bedtime? There's just something inside all of us that loves hearing stories. Now you know how to make up a story too. All you have to do is pick a main character, give that character a goal or a want, put something difficult in their way, let the character meet new helpful friends, and try and fail and learn and keep going, and then have your character accomplish their goal. That's really all there is to a good story. And once you understand this structure, you can start having fun with it. For example, some stories are about characters that think they know what they want, but realize by the end of the story that the thing they thought they wanted isn't what they actually needed. They find out that they were wrong. Can you think of a story like that? Can you think of a story where the main character wants something but ends up getting something else and is better for it? I know a story like that.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Do you know the story of how the Grinch stole Christmas? What does the Grinch want to do in that story? He wants to stop Christmas. Does he accomplish his goal? Well, he tries. He certainly goes on a journey to do it. But it turns out he thought he was going to make the Who's miserable by stealing all their gifts. But instead, they celebrated anyway.
Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
So what the Grinch learns is that the only way for him to be happy is to spend less time thinking about himself and more time thinking about others. He doesn't get what he originally wanted, but he gets what he needs in order to have his life change.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Because that's what all stories are about. They're about change. If everything stayed the same in a story, that'd be a pretty boring story. So the main character always goes on a journey to a ball, or to the Mushroom Kingdom, or to rescue Buzz Lightyear, or to steal all the Christmas presents from the Who's. And along the way, the main character finds what they really need to have their life changed. That's a story. And for thousands of years, across all countries and all the cultures of the world, we've been telling them pretty much the same way. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so now that you know how to tell a good story, what story do you want to tell? All right, let's have a quick quiz. Which act of a story introduces us to the main character? That would be Act 1. And what was the special name I gave to Act 2 of the story? I always call it, but then, all of a sudden. You always know you're about to start Act 2 of the story when the but then, all of a sudden, happens in the story. All right, let's play true or false. True or false? The middle of a story is often where the biggest obstacles happen. Yep, that's true. True or false? Good stories usually have no problems for the main character to overcome. No, that's false. A good story has lots of obstacles for the main character to overcome. True or false? Joseph Campbell studied something he called the bad guy's journey. False. He called it the hero's journey. True or false? The ending of a story often shows that the main character's life has changed. That is true. The main character accomplishes their goal or learns a lesson, or both. Sometimes they learn that the thing they thought they wanted is not quite what they needed. Would you rather write your own book or make your own movie? I think I would like to write a book. Writing is very difficult, and writing enough for an entire book, whew, I am always so impressed by anybody that can do that. So I would love to be one of the people that has written a whole book. Okay, let's play a round of What Am I? What am I? I am a structure that shows up in many famous adventures and fairy tales. I often begin with a character leaving their ordinary life behind, and a man named Joseph Campbell became famous for writing about me. What am I? I am the hero's journey. Today we learned that good stories follow a structure. They begin with a character who wants something. Then the character faces problems and learns things along the way. Eventually, their life is changed. The next time you hear a bedtime story or read a book or watch a movie, try asking yourself, who is the main character? What do they want? What is the but then, all of a sudden? And what changes by the end? You might just start noticing the 3-act structure everywhere. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out. So until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got some birthdays today. Today is Abigail's birthday. Abigail is from Florida, and Abigail is turning 8. Happy birthday, Abigail. Rin is from Arizona, and Rin is turning 4. Happy birthday, Rin. Jude is from Mallorca, Spain, and Jude is turning 7. Happy birthday, Jude. Ace is from Illinois, and Ace is turning 8. Happy birthday, Ace. Desmond is from New Mexico, and Desmond is turning 8. Happy birthday, Desmond. Ariana is from Minnesota, and it's Ariana's birthday too. Happy birthday, Ariana. Emmy is from Florida, and Emmy is turning 5. Happy birthday, Emmy. Adrian is from Rhode Island, and Adrian is turning 3. Happy birthday, Adrian. Bo is from Colorado, and Bo is turning 4. Happy birthday, Bo. Asher is from Kentucky, and Asher is turning 4. Happy birthday, Asher. William is from Alberta, Canada, and William is turning 7. Happy birthday, William. Fox is from Texas, and Fox is turning 7. Happy birthday, Fox. Grayson is from Nelson Bay in New South Wales in Australia, and Grayson is turning 7 this week. Happy birthday, Grayson. And Blaze is from Oklahoma, and Blaze is turning 8. Happy birthday, Blaze. To all the grown-ups listening, if your curious kid wants their birthday mentioned on the show, please visit supportcuriouskids.com and join the Curious Kids Club. That's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow.